guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a homeschooling video. We are just a couple of months into our first year of homeschooling. We have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Our oldest, and I've talked about this in other videos that I can link below, but our oldest just turned 5 at the end of July, so he is technically old enough to go to kindergarten, but by like a day or two. And so we decided to wait a year before we start kindergarten and figured the best thing to do for us this year, at least this year, is to begin homeschooling. And when we first started, I really thought it was all about the workbooks and the writing work, the copy work, and all of this very book-oriented. And I learned very quickly what people told me for months and even years: they need to play. And so it's really evolved over just the couple of months we've been homeschooling now. We started in the middle of August. It's evolved quite a bit into a lot more play and a lot less book work. We also have a 3-year-old who doesn't really sit still for much. And I found a lot of things that work well for him, but to be honest, at 3 years old, as long as he is in the room picking up on stuff, I'm pretty happy. And it has been incredible to watch both of them learn, especially Braden, who's 3. He just turned 3 in September, so he's 3 and 1 month and 1 day as of today. So still super young, but they're only 2 years apart, so I know a lot of the things they'll learn together. But in this video, I wanted to talk to you about the things that I've been loving in our first 2 months of homeschooling so far. Now I have a bunch of stuff laid out here. It's kind of a little bit of everything, and I'll just start right here. This is just the first thing here. This is in no particular order of how much we love things or whatever, but this is, I don't know what his name is. It was like Timmy the Telling Time Clock or something like that. And this is a really fun little thing. We're just starting to work on this. This is still very new, but you turn him on.
How are you? I'm Telly the Teaching Time Clock.
Telly the Teaching Time Clock.
Let's play a game. Can you find 11:25?
Okay, did you hear that? You can do...
Let's play again real soon.
That's a good idea, Telly.
Bye-bye.
You can do a quiz. There's options here. You can do a quiz game or tell time. It can either say like find 11:25 and the child moves the hands to get to that certain time. Or you can just set it on a time and the kid has to figure out what it is. You know, you don't have to use the games on here, but it's a really fun and bright way of learning to tell time. But Mike found this, I don't even know where he found it actually, maybe Lakeshore Learning, he loves that place, several years ago, and just kept it in the closet and found it, and Caleb's really enjoying it. He can't count by 5s yet, but he can identify numbers, so at least we're getting somewhere with that. These are books that Mike found this summer at Barnes & Noble. It was in the spring, we went to a homeschool conference, and there's just... We started thinking about what kind of curriculum we wanted to get for Caleb especially, who was 5. And we really learned that we needed to hone in on what he likes. And if he likes anything, it is Star Wars. I take that back. If he loves anything, it is Star Wars. And so Mike went online and just searched on Barnes & Noble Star Wars Learning or something like that, and came up with these books. And these are just 3 that we have. We have kindergarten, 1st grade. I think we even have up to 2nd grade in Star Wars books. But this one is preschool number fun, and Caleb has actually already finished this book. It's very basic, counting, practicing writing, the numbers, a lot of repetition, which is good, like matching numbers to pictures, colors, writing, and then there's in groups, let me see if I can find, and comparing, there's compare and contrast as well, like how many objects does each Wookiee have? Circle the Wookiee that has more. So this guy has 2 pieces of toast, this guy has 4. So that kind of thing. And he finished this. This is for ages 4 to 5. And this was perfect for him. I think more than anything, this was a great review. Only thing he did struggle with was the more and less. That was getting a little bit beyond where he is. Like, he knows numbers and stuff like that. He does still struggle a little bit on his number recognition, but we're working on that. This is preschool ABC fun. Last year when he was in pre-K, I think a little bit too much was shoved down his throat before he was ready. And so I'm kind of in the fun position of rebuilding his love of learning. I know that's sad, but truth hurts sometimes. But this, for example, is letter recognition. He's pretty good at this already, but you know, circle the capital A, circle the lowercase a, that kind of thing. And then we get into the back, and there's like some pre-writing, and this, he was way beyond this, so we kind of skipped that because he can write his letters. But you know, we've been writing the letters here, just practice, and it's all using Star Wars, so I mean, he's loving it. And the third one that we've been using, and we just started this one this week, is Preschool Shapes and Colors. These are all for ages 4 to 5. And he really dove into this week, drawing shapes, following the shapes in a maze. Let's see, some other things. I don't know how much of the coloring we'll do in this, maybe just for fun, because he knows his colors real well. He knows his shapes pretty well as well. But like patterns, this was something that we did this week with some patterns. So really enjoying this. It's learning and it's a workbook, but it's still a lot of fun. One thing that I don't have sitting here that I probably should, but you don't need to see it, is Candyland. He knows his colors really well, but getting the hang of spinning the little spinner and counting the spaces has been so great. We've used Candyland as a reward. If you finish your schoolwork today, we get to play Candyland, and it's working great. So I want to do Uno next. I think he's ready for that, but yeah, again, I'm not pushing anything on him. I'm making him give everything a chance. The next thing are these magnetic match rings. This thing is cool. He loves this. Here's an example. There's a little box of cards here. I just took one out, front and back, and you stick it into this magnetic piece. And let's see, stick this here and this in this little hole. And then you get this stack of magnetic rings of different colors. And basically what they have to do is follow this pattern right here. And you see the spaces are here because they want you to make the magnets repel each other. So let's see, there's actually, this needs to float a little bit. So we are going to make it repel. Well, maybe not. And the next one is a green, so I'll find a green magnet. And that is supposed to stick. Then I need a yellow one. And there's a space here, so I need it to repel. So that didn't work. So it's like problem solving. Whoops. That didn't work, so I turned it the other way around. And there's that. You get the idea. And I love these independent play type of activities because he can sit and do this on his own while I'm getting some things done, because I can't sit on top of him and monitor every single thing he does. And I like for him to be able to figure stuff out on his own. So about a month ago, Caleb and I started doing read-alouds, and we usually do this when Braden goes down for his nap. And the weather has been so nice that we've been taking advantage. Of course, it's raining right now. It's like pouring right now. But the afternoons have been pretty decent. So we've been going outside, laying out a blanket. I have a monkey mat, if you've ever seen those. It's just like a really thin nylon mat for outside on the grass. And we sit out there. I usually have my coffee or my sparkling water, and we read. And the first book I picked was called The Christmas Spurs by Bill Wallace. And apparently I loved this book so much that I hung on to it since maybe 5th grade. And I thought it would be a good one to read aloud because I knew it was about 2 brothers. Well, about a chapter in, I started realizing how this book ends, remembering how this book ends. I'm going, oh man, I picked a sad book for our first book to read aloud. and he was totally digging it. He loved it. And it had a terribly sad ending, a beautiful ending, but sad. And in those last couple of pages, I was crying. And my sweet, sensitive Caleb came and laid his head in my lap while I read those last couple of pages because he is precious. So anyway, we read that one and we finished it in, I don't know, a couple of weeks, reading, a couple of chapters a day, maybe one chapter a day. Some days not at all, just that's how life goes. And then last week we read, it took us a little over a week to read Sideways Stories from Wayside School from Louis Sachar, I guess. And because I remember as a kid thinking that book was so funny. I read it now and it was really dumb, but Caleb digged it or dug it, if that's, I'm smart. So anyway, he really enjoyed that, and that just, the chapters are just like 2 or 3 pages long, super short. And this is another book that I held on to called Wayside School is Falling Down. It is the sequel, and I just learned this week that there are 1 or maybe even 2 more Wayside School books. And they're both at the library. And this was Wayside School is Falling Down, and we're only a couple of chapters into it. We just started on Thursday, and this is Sunday. So we're just a few chapters in, but he's really loving these funny books. We'll go from funny to, more dramatic and just kind of change it up. I have like Little House on the Prairie and Charlotte's Web, Boxcar Children, those kinds of things kind of in my mental list of books that I want to read with him. This, you guys, has been probably my favorite thing that we've used all year. This is a little Bible story book that Mike found at Walmart a long time ago, again, for $9.89, called My Favorite Bible. And we have so many kiddie Bibles, it's kind of ridiculous. But this one, I might even like it better than the Jesus Storybook Bible. Yeah, we'll probably do that one when we're done with this one because we're almost finished with this book. But basically, there's a story, and the pictures are so cute, and the font is all different sizes. So I kind of read like I'm a librarian, read like this to them. But the thing that I like the most about it is that at the end of every story, there's a family talk and family fun section, and whenever we do this, we do it at the table when they're eating breakfast because they are both paying attention, they are occupied, they're listening. I have their complete attention at that time, except for their breakfast. And there's also 2 options for a little craft. And some of them are like, no way would I do that. That's too messy. That's too crazy. So there's usually just like a draw a picture option. And sometimes we choose that. But one day we were reading about John the Baptist and how he ate locusts. And Caleb thought that was the funniest thing, and he wanted to learn about locusts. And with the beauty of homeschooling, all I had to do was get on YouTube and find a documentary about locusts. That kid sat with me and watched a 45-minute documentary on YouTube about locusts. So random, but he thought it was the neatest thing. He's asked me more things about locusts since then, and he's not a bug person at all. But I just love how something like this it generates discussion, especially at 5. I mean, so many amazing questions and discussions happen at 5. I'm just, might be my favorite age. Wow, I have a lot here. Okay. Oh, and I just thought of more things. Maybe that'll be in another video. Comment below if you would like to see more, because I'm sure there will be more. And the last thing that I want to talk about are some products that were actually sent to me. And the only problem with these is that I thought they were more for smaller kids, but it's for ages 8 and up. So we will grow into them. But these companies are actually called Brick Logic and Shape Logic. And I'll start with Brick Logic. And if you've ever heard of STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. If you go on Pinterest and search preschool STEM activities, I could do a whole video on the stuff that I found through that. But basically what it is these little blocks. They're like bricks that are stuck together, kind of like this. And they're all of different configurations and a pack of challenge cards. And it says it's for single player, ages 8 and up, but you could totally make this a challenge. But just as an example, it gives you a challenge, something that you need to build, with these bricks. And there's this whole thing of them. And then there's some on the back here. And it has been the most fun playing with this. It is not as easy as you would think. Caleb is not at the developmental stage where he needs brain teasers. He needs to learn the basics first. That's what they say, that this is a brain teaser puzzle. But you can either make these like an actual structure that stands up straight, or you can just kind of lay them out, you know, on the table to make everything, you know, fit together as the picture suggests. And it is really cool how it works. And I was thinking, oh, this will be like a fun car game. I don't know if we could do this in the car exactly, but I love how it just comes in this pouch. It comes with a pouch, and just the neatest thing. I think this would be great. It says for ages 8 and up. I think kids maybe as young as 6 or 7 could do it, depending on their, like, how they think, how their spatial reasoning is. But yeah, brick logic, super fun. Shape logic is similar. It comes in this bigger one. It's the same but different, okay? This has beginner, intermediate, and advanced cards. And this has more bricks to it. These are, instead of like linked together bricks, these are all individual, you know, pieces. Now a small kid could just sit and build stuff with these, and that'd be a creative outlet for them. But these actually, it'll give you, for example, and this is just the very beginner, and this is something that Caleb could do. I'll show you on one side how those, you know, you've got 2 bricks doing one thing and 2 bricks doing another thing. Then like intermediate, it shows you put these 3 together and these 3 together and see what you find. And these are like, how do you make them equal? How do you put these 3 together and these 3 together and make them look the same? And this is the answer on the back. So this is definitely more advanced. This is more, I guess, more than brick logic. But this is, shape logic is more of a brain teaser. And this actually was a little difficult for me. Again, it says ages 8 and up. I don't know, maybe you have a 2-year-old who's just a genius, and that's great. But for my 5 and 3-year-olds, this is definitely over their heads, but I think it will be perfect as they grow up. And again, you know, these brick logic and shape logic, you don't even have to use the cards. Kids can build with these things and get creative and have a blast, make whatever they want. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the point. And just because I love you, my subscribers, and I know that there are subscribers out there who watch me for homeschooling videos, even though I've just gotten started, and you do have some older kids, so I have something very, very special for you. I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my Instagram, and so I'm going to be giving away some brick logic. Woo-hoo-hoo. You can learn all about brick logic and shape logic in the description below. I'm going to link them, but I'm also going to do a giveaway on my Instagram. So what you need to do is go over to my Instagram post where I'm posting about this, and all you need to do is like of course you need to follow me on Instagram, and I'll have all that information in the description box below, but you need to like that picture, and that is what will enter you for the giveaway. So you need to be 18, USA only, all that jazz, all the details will be down below. So I hope you are having a wonderful day. This is a lot to show you, so I thank you for sticking around with me today. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to see all of my homeschooling videos and all the other millions of types of videos that I put out every week. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.